Right now, 4 suspects have been arrested in Johannesburg on Wednesday in connection with human trafficking. This during a patrol by the Johannesburg Metro Police Department. 2 suspects were arrested in the CBD and 2 others in Meerdale, south of Johannesburg. For more on this, we're joined by via Zoom by JMPD spokesperson Xolani Fihla. Mr. Fihla, thank you very much for your time. Just give us details about this case, where the suspects were found and the situation around that.
Thank you to you, Masiho, and let me greet the viewers of eNCA. Yes, you're correct that a total of 4 people were arrested by the JMPD on the 15th of June for human trafficking. So in the first scene is that officers were conducting patrols in the wee hours of the 15th, and they stopped a vehicle with a foreign number plate. And whilst searching the vehicle, they found that all the occupants in that vehicle were undocumented, so they didn't have any passports, and they also didn't have any asylum seeker permits. So one of the ladies who was a passenger in the vehicle actually attempted to speak to the officers and convince the officers to actually release them, and that's when the officers saw that this is actually serious. And the lady, whilst interviewing the lady, she did admit that each of the passengers were paying her approximately 3,500 rand to get into the country, promising them a better living and a better job. And the driver also admitted that he was getting 1,000 rand to transport these people into the country. So both of those suspects were arrested and detained at Johannesburg Central SAPS. And in the second scene, our undercover officers received information regarding suspected human trafficking at a complex in Meerdale, which is a suburb south of Johannesburg. Once they got there, the complainant showed the officers 4 teenage Ethiopian boys who escaped from the alleged traffickers, and the complainant led the officers to the apartment where these boys were held, and they interviewed the 2 occupants of that flat, which is one Ethiopian male and an Ethiopian female, and they said that their friend brought these 4 young men to the apartment and they were going to be fetched. But it did seem a bit skeptical, so they were also arrested and they were detained at Mondio SAPS.
Just tell me something, Xolani, in terms of the first incident where you found these occupants being transported, the people who were transporting them and the lady who said that she was receiving 3,500 rand from each of those occupants, are those South African citizens?
What I can confirm is that the lady is a Malawian national, and she had proper documentation. She had a passport, a valid passport, and the driver is a Mozambican national, and he also had proper documentation. And in the second scene also, both of the Ethiopian male and female also had proper documentation. So it is really serious that these people are brought in by people who have proper documentation within the country.
And in terms of the charges, when you say human trafficking, and in terms of the excuses that they gave, that they brought these people into the country because these people wanted a better life, is human trafficking the only charge, or are you not ruling out the possibility of more charges being laid?
There could be more charges being laid, especially with the second scene with 2 Ethiopian nationals, because 92,000 rand cash was found in their apartment. So I think the investigators will be looking deep into what's actually happening within this scene. I know with the first scene, both the driver and the lady did admit that they were actually getting proceeds from transporting these people. And with the second one, our department will be following the case really closely, because the 2 allege that the 4 Ethiopian young males were brought into the country by a friend of theirs. So we'll be following that case really closely.
Mr. Fihla, also, when it comes to the occupants of this particular Quantum minibus that the officers stopped, those occupants, are they under age, number one, and what happens to them now? Are they also arrested?
The occupants were adults, they were above 18, and what officers did is that they contacted the Home Affairs Immigration, and they processed these 20 passengers, and they should be deported back to their country.
Mm-hmm. And this also just shows, Xolani, how, the corruption within our system is deeper than just the undocumented foreign nationals being able to make their way here. The fact that they were able to go all the way from Malawi into Mozambique and into our country, all the way to Johannesburg, means that there are officials who are supposed to protect this country and make sure that people are here legally who didn't do their jobs.
We can't rule that out, because I know these people have many ways on how to deal and actually get into the country. So that can't be ruled out, Masejo.
All right, Xolani, thank you very much for your time.